Batman versus Robin, issue 5. Mark Waid writing with Mahmoud Asrar on the art. So this follows...
Which is weird because my cover that I got physically
Uh-huh.
also had Godlewski's name, but I don't see Godlewski anywhere in the credits page.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
So I thought with the heft of this, I thought there was a backup. And
it must have just been a misprint.
Must have been.
Yeah.
So
this comes after the Lazarus Planet Omega. After reading this and realizing this is probably just the end of the book, it's very weird that Omega and Alpha weren't just issues 5 and 6 of this series, and then this was issue 7.
I think they were trying to justify it as there was no Batman versus Robining in that. And in here, that's what we get now. It's Robin versus Batman.
Don't get me wrong. It'd be kind of weird if there was all these one-shots tying in between just a couple of issues of this miniseries. That would feel a bit odd as well. But so I think that's why they named them differently and made it this little thing. But you can't read Lazarus Planet Alpha and Omega without Batman or Batman versus Robin as well. They're all one story. Yeah.
Well, and this is the conclusion to that story too.
Yeah, this is the conclusion.
This should have at least. Does it have a banner? No, there's no there. It's just it says the Lazarus epilogue on the cover, but this maybe should have had a banner or something. It
feels a bit strange. It feels a bit disjointed in its naming and whatnot. But this very much is the ending to the story. It's Batman's possessed by Neza, and Damian has to deal with that, which involves tricking him and getting away from him in the Batcave, which leads to a fun chase. Neza, Batman uses the Dick and Damian Batmobile to chase him, which was a nice touch.
I love Damian going, "That's my Batmobile."
I do love that Wade's getting to use things in continuity that happened while he was away from DC. He's like, "Yeah, I like some of this stuff when I wasn't here, so I'm going to use some of it." So yeah, basically the issue is Monkey Prince helps, of course, but Damian effectively assembles all the Bat family, much like he did before with the Robins, but this time he also brings in the Batgirls, and it's like, okay, if we're going to take down Bruce, we have to do it all as a team. And sure enough, we get Batman fighting all the various Bat family members. That's a big chunk in the middle of the issue. The big critical thing for Damian, though, is that he's been told by Monkey Prince, and then later by the other magic users who show up, that Bruce has only been kept alive because of the magic of Neza being inside him, and if they get rid of Neza, then Bruce is going to die. And it doesn't feel cheap that Damian just immediately says, well, that's the right thing to do then, because of course that's what Batman would say. Batman would be the first to hop up and say, yeah, do it.
Very pragmatic. I had my shot, but Neza's a bigger deal, so take him out.
But Damian does have a plan. He thinks he can sacrifice himself to save Batman, because that's what he asks Zatanna and Omen and whoever else at the end to do. He says
Enchantress,
sorry. She's wearing green. I thought it was Omen.
Yeah, she is. No, she is. But after reading Action and then reading this, I did do the same thing. But remember when Damian calls her like a trollop or something, I feel like he would do that to Omen. So.
Yeah, and they're like, that may not be quite enough. And they even say, like, I'm sure any of the other Bat family would volunteer to like give up their life for him. And Damian says, what if we took a little bit of all of us? And they say, that wouldn't quite be enough. It'll take more. And he's like, well, how much more? Which leads to the big thing that I've got a funny feeling you're going to have some words on, which is Damian puts out a call to Gotham City and says that Batman needs everyone's help, that everyone needs to look up to the signal and believe in Batman so that they can all take they can take a little slither of everyone's life from everyone to wake up Batman. Do you know what this made me think of more than anything, bizarrely? I don't remember it very well, but I'm positive there was something in Doctor Who like this at one point.
Oh boy.
And I'm not a big Doctor Who guy, but I watched a fair chunk of the newer stuff.
All I was getting was in Hook, where Tinkerbell makes them say, "I believe in fairies."
Do you know what this was? I wasn't super into this necessarily, but I kind of appreciated just them like, oh, Mark Waid's doing one of his Silver Age things again, because Mark Waid loves doing weird Silver Age stuff, and that's what this felt like to me. It was nice to see them hug at the end when Batman gets back up.
I love that Damian does try this thing, but it's super saccharine-y, and just I don't like Gotham as a city. I don't feel has the same relationship as Central. If this was Central in the Flash, I would buy it.
Or Metropolis Superman, or yeah.
I didn't want to use that because then I'm a self-parody. So
sure.
My next favorite hero.
I think I would have been more okay with this if they just reined it in a bit, right? And what I mean by that is that Damian says, look up into the signal. If he just said, tonight when the signal's in the sky, look up and think of Batman, and we just see some people looking up and sort of thinking about Batman, I would have said, okay, that kind of works for me. I think the fact that we cut around all these civilians like raising their fists and going, I am Batman, that was the part that felt, this is a bit cheesy now. I'm not quite clicking with that. Yeah. So, like the sentiment, I do love that Damian's like determined to save him. I do like that the Bat family would all be willing to volunteer. I like those parts of it. I like the hug at the end. But yeah, the cheesiness of like having Gothamites all...
I read that and I had the biggest eye roll and I was like, what? Look, Mark Waid, I like you as a writer a lot. I'm going to cut you a little bit of slack, but I'm glad that you also found it cheesy. Because just I believe in Batman, or I am Batman, definitely them just looking up and like even seeing like criminals and seeing that symbol in the sky, right? And even that fear is enough to help Batman, just Batman as an idea. And that just goes to, the whole Nolan idea of Batman, of him becoming an idea.
Yeah.
I would have gotten that. That would have been fine.
Just a bit more restraint is all I would have liked. I don't mind the idea of like the energy of everyone looking up and thinking about Batman or caring about Batman in some way would be enough to do it with the magic. I could get on board with that. But it got a bit too... It got like... It's like he wanted to have that Spider-Man moment where the city wants to help him, but it's more mystical though. Like
it felt like that's our Spider-Man and them hucking bricks at the Green Goblin.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. That's just them hawking things at the villain. If some Gothamites showed up and threw a brick at the Joker, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's fine, whatever. That granny's got balls. She just threw a brick at the Joker. So yeah, they hug, they run off into the night, and Batman and Robin are reunited. There you go.
I did love that final panel of them because it did feel like, man, now I want a Batman and Robin book from Mark Waid. Like it's been a minute since we've had a Batman and Robin book. I did like Monkey Prince showing up and using his cloning, his hairs, right? And then Damian's like, he says something about like, yeah, I need you to do this, but for Superboy, because like he misses his friend. I like that aspect. But then we got all the clones of Damian that attack.
We get almost like a Matrix Reloaded fight where it's like 100 Damians fighting Batman.
I like that aspect, and I like that Batman having zero hesitancy and just beating the hell out of all these kids. So that was a fun juxtaposition. But yeah, no, I was really enjoying it, and then I got to that big thing of cheese, and I was just like, oh, geez, Wade, what are you doing, bud? And a lesser writer, I would have definitely been like, okay, I'm done. But I gotta see, is he gonna stick this landing? And he does, because there are some very nice moments that we haven't really, when you look about where the Robin book started from Williamson and him feeling guilty about Alfred and him going through this journey, and then the stuff that has happened through Lazarus Planet and here, it feels like now that Damian and Bruce are back on that, not level playing field, but father-son relationship.
I mean, despite our critiques at some of the cheesiness towards the end, like I think this was an easy to read, and given the fact that it's like 45 pages, credit. I didn't feel like it was a slog to get through. It flowed quite well. Action was good. Yeah,
the art. I like Asrar as an artist, so the art was really, really good.
He's good house style. That sounds like an insult, but I don't mean it to be. I just mean he's good house style.
No, but he has this heaviness to his pencils that the house style doesn't. Like it's not exactly clean, but it's not sketchy. Like again, there's a heavy shadowiness to it that I really like because you can tell when it's Asrar. So I'd love to see him on like a Zatanna magic book to see what comes out of that. Like So, but it was fine. It was not expecting the city of Gotham to be yelling "I am Batman." I mean, when I picked that book up,
we still have Wade doing some Batman and Robin in World's Finest because we got a Robin in that, and he's effectively swapping this for the Shazam ongoing that he's starting in May. So,
with Dan Mora. So let's get stoked on that one. See, that is where I can deal with some cheese, right? Because that's Shazam in a nutshell. He was known as the Big Red Cheese, so he can do all the silliness there, and I don't think I'll have an issue with it.
All right, what are you rating Batman versus Robin issue 5?
I'm gonna give it 7.5.
Yeah. I'll give it a straight 7. I think I still enjoyed reading it. It does get a bit too cheesy towards the end. I think like Batman versus Robin as a whole, including Lazarus Planet, and I just mean the like Alpha and Omega. I'm not really including the all the other one-shot things.
One-shots.
Overall, it was an enjoyable enough story with some high points, and it kept us guessing at points, which was nice. But you know, ultimately, just kind of a fun bit of fluff with a good little bit of character here or there, as opposed to being like a standout story like some of all the other stuff that is going on.